Hi, I'm Valerie Getch with another Lightroom tutorial. Lightroom is amazing software, and it's gotten so good I almost never need to go into Photoshop for image editing. But there are times when it can act a little sluggish. It might take a while for an image to fully render in the library loop view or in the develop module after adjustments have been made. So in the develop module, sometimes the sliders lag and it takes a little longer than it should for your new adjustments to show up. So in this video, I'll give you some tips on how you can make Lightroom perform faster. The first thing you can do is adjust the camera raw cache. When Lightroom reads new data, it adds it to the camera raw cache so that when you load that image again in the develop module, it will load the cache data rather than reprocessing it, so it should load faster. The default is only 1 gigabyte, which sounds like a lot, but it can fill up quickly if you're processing a lot of images. So under Edit, go to Preferences, and then under File Handling, go down here towards the bottom and you'll see camera raw cache settings and maximum file size. Now, as I mentioned, the default is 1 gigabyte, but you can set it much higher to 10 or 20 gigabytes, and even higher if you're going to be processing a couple thousand images after a big shoot and if you have a lot of hard drive space to handle it. So I'm going to leave that at 20. And then you also want to keep your standard size previews as small as possible. Lightroom uses standard previews in the film strip, grid thumbnails, and in the preview areas of the slideshow, the print, and the web modules. And if you have your standard preview set too high, it can slow down your system. So to help speed up performance, I'm going to close out of this, and I'm going to go to Edit and Catalog Settings, and then I'm going to File Handling tab, and then I'm going to choose the size that's closest to the longest edge of your screen resolution. So for example, my laptop is 1600 by 900, so I want to set my previews. Here are the options, starting at 1024 going up to 2880. I want to set my previews to 1680, which is the closest to my 1600. You don't want it shorter, so I wouldn't want to go to the lower one. So you just want it as close as possible without going below. And so I'm going to leave it at 1680. And then the other thing you can do is change the preview quality from high to medium. And then if you've built any one-to-one previews, keep in mind that they take up a lot of disk space. One-to-one previews are full-size previews. So as I say, they take up a lot of disk space, and if you discard them and then you find that you need that image again, Lightroom is going to have to recreate it. So it's kind of a bit of a trade-off. So if you're going to be working on that image again, if you think, then go ahead and keep your one-to-one previews as long as possible. And again, you would do that under Edit, Catalog Settings, File Handling. We're here in the same menu. And then change this. If you have one of these other options marked, then change it to after 30 days or never if you want, depending on your needs. And then we're done with this, so we can go ahead and click OK. Now about the catalog. Some people think that having multiple smaller catalogs will help speed things up. But unless you have 100,000 images, your catalog really shouldn't slow you down. And honestly, having a bunch of different catalogs is only going to create confusion for you. Then you have to remember which is in what catalog, and you might end up, importing them to the wrong catalog, etc. Some people swear by it. The majority of people don't need multiple catalogs. You take care of that with using collections and folders rather than different catalogs. So to help improve your catalog performance, click on File and then click on Optimize Catalog. And mine was just optimized recently, and it will take a few minutes, and then if you want to go ahead and do it, then just click Optimize. I'm going to cancel that. And it's something that you want to do. It's a good idea when your catalog starts to get larger than, say, 10,000 images or so. This can help boost performance. Before you optimize your catalog, it's probably a good idea that you back it up first. And while you're at it, make sure that you have your catalog set to be backed up regularly, such as daily or weekly or every time you close Lightroom, depending on how often you use it. And you can do that by going to Edit and then go to Catalog Settings and then click on the General tab. And here it says Backup Catalog. I have mine set to once a day when exiting Lightroom, but you can choose from these other options as well. And then just click OK. And then next, when you're in the Develop module, it helps to apply some settings in a certain order to help save on RAM usage. So for example, sharpening and noise. Let's go over to the Develop module. Oops, let me select a photo first. Let's select this, go over to the Develop module. And it does help in general to follow the general order that Lightroom gives you, because they give that to you for a reason. So you would want to apply the sharpening and noise removal, which are found in the detail panel, last. And one thing is interesting that I discovered, and I was doing some spot removal, some spot healing, and I found that the tool was really sluggish. And then I did some research and I found out that I had already applied some sharpening, also some lens correction, and it just tended to really bog things down. So I reset those to the default, and then I went back and did my spot healing, and it seemed to go much faster. And by the way, you should do your spot healing first in order to get the best accuracy. And then finally, don't use any tools or any adjustments that you don't really need. For example, if you've applied lens correction, let's open that up, and let's say I have both of these checked. Well, I don't know if these really make any difference. If you uncheck it, I see a slight difference, so I'm going to leave that. But do that. If you have these checked, uncheck it, and see if you have a difference. And if you don't need it, don't apply it, because all of those just take up more RAM usage. So go ahead and apply some of these changes I've recommended and see if it makes a difference for you, and let me know in the comments. Outside of Lightroom, make sure you've installed the latest graphics card update for your computer. And you'll be wanting to run a machine with at least 4 gigabytes of RAM, and more if you're also running Photoshop, and a 64-bit operating system. You need to have plenty of free disk space. At least 20 to 25% free space is optimum. Many of us store our Lightroom images on our external hard drive because they generally have more space than our internal drive. This can affect your speed as well. You want a faster connection, like with a FireWire or a USB 3 or eSATA connection. I hope these tips help you speed up Lightroom's performance for you. Please be sure to watch my other tutorials on adjusting and enhancing your images in the Develop module and how to use the Library module. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe buttons below. See you next time.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this Lightroom tutorial. Stay tuned for more tips and tutorials as we work our way through the Lightroom workflow, and be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of them. I also want to give you a copy of my free guide to digital photography basics to help you improve your photography skills and understand how to use your camera's manual settings. You can get it for free at my website, www.valeriegetch.com/digital-photography-basics. Now go out with your camera and have fun, and I'll see you back here soon. Hi, this is Valerie Getch. Have you been trying to take portraits of your kids and they're just not coming out the way you want? Maybe the lighting just isn't quite right, or you're wondering how you get that cool background blur that you see in professional portraits? Well, I have a great course for you on family portrait photography. I'll show you how to choose the right lens, give you tips on natural lighting, what settings to use to get that pretty background blur, and I'll show you how to enhance your photos in post-production. Learn more at valeriegetch.com/portrait-course.